Mm, Welcome to Whispers. So, um, this is in response to Malami. Malami is the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Um, it had, oh my God, look at the states. Look at what court system is doing. What is the comparison between cows and spare parts? So, this is in response to Malami's show of shame on a national television. So, come along with me. Let's find out and set the record straight. So, between Malami's spare parts and Southern governance cows. Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami arose people, particularly from the South, to seething fury when it said on May 19 during a Chinese TV interview that Southern governors' May 18 resolution to ban open grazing in their part of the country will be synonymous with Northern governors banning the sale of spare parts in their own gubernatorial sphere of authority. Malami, but it's the northern governors that first started this open grazing ban. They first banned open grazing up in the north. So, what is the crying all about? Why is Malami not come out in defense of commercial motorcyclists and spare parts in the same way he has come out in defense of cows? Attorney General and Minister of Justice is defending cows? This is pathetic. Just pathetic. For example, it is as good as saying perhaps, maybe, the northern governors coming together to say they prohibit spare parts trading in the north, he said. Does it hold water? Does it hold water for a northern governor to come and state expressly that he now prohibits spare parts trading in the north? This was a dreadfully mistaken analogy that instantiates the age-old English expression, comparisons are odious. First, the governor of Benue State, which is in the north, has also signed a law banning open grazing. It isn't unlikely that other northern states will follow suit with some version of open grazing ban at some point. So it's not exactly as cut and dried north versus south binary as Malami makes it seem. Second, Malami's imperfect contrast of context is an invidious and wholly grandiose dog whistle ethnic jibe at Igbo people, even though it wasn't just Igbo governors who endorsed the banning of open grazing. Yoruba, Ekwere, Bini, Ejo, Ibibio, and Obaluku governors endorsed it too. Although the expression dog whistle originated in Australian English, it was popularized and exported to the rest of the world from America, and it means the dubious, loaded use of words and imaginary in ways that seem harmless and innocent on the surface, but it actually sends a special, often bigoted and divisive message to an intentionally preselected group of people. Biafra boys, IPOP people, spare part dealers are well-known dog whistle references to Igbo people. This shows how Buhari's regime have adopted Igbophobia as an unofficial policy. It's just like how terrorists has now become a dog whistle reference to northern Muslims among southerners. For instance, in December 2014, Mrs. Rose Chinyere Uzoma, the then Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, told members of the National Assembly that she subverted the laws and conducted a widely condemned secretive, regionally skewed recruitment into the immigration service because she didn't want to unknowingly employ terrorists. Well, it turned out that northern states with Muslim majority populations were the least represented in Uzoma's secretive employment exercise. Malami is as guilty of invidious dog whistling as Uzoma was. Another reason Malami's comparison is odious is that it's at once widely inaccurate and factually impoverished. As many people have already pointed out, it was cows, not herders, that are banned from uncontrolled grazing because they destroy farmlands. Spare parts don't destroy anything. On the contrary, they supplement the middle class indulgence of car ownership for Nigerians. The Southern Governor's resolution, as I understand it, is in fact not an attack on cows or on herders. It's merely a restriction on the act, open grazing. Ranched cows are not affected by the resolution, and the Constitution guarantees the rights of Nigerian herders as individuals to move to any part of Nigeria like everybody else. Of course, this excludes non-Nigerian herders in Nigeria whose proliferative presence even the government has acknowledged many times. Chapter 4, Section 41 of the Nigerian Constitution says, every citizen of Nigeria is entitled to move freely throughout Nigeria and to reside in any part thereof, and no citizen of Nigeria shall be expelled from Nigeria or refuse entry thereby or exit therefrom. The resolution of the Southern Governors hasn't violated that. But several governors have in the past violated this constitutional guarantee without as much a whisper from Malami. In August 2019, the Lagos State government accused some Southerners of illegal mass movement into the state and arrested them and were released unconditionally. In April 2020, in contravention of both common sense and well-established conventions, the Kano state government also deported a man from Kano to Jigawa state after he tested positive for the coronavirus. Kano later opened the floodgates for the recriminatory deportations of Alimanjaris in Nigeria's northwestern states by first deporting more than 1,000 children to their home states. The Kaduna state government closed its borders and arrested 100 people hidden inside a truck coming from Kano, and several others smuggled from Lagos by a trailer conveying goods to Kano. According to Channels TV, no government, as far as I'm aware, has condemned this. Since states are not sovereign entities, they can't have borders. What they have, according to the Nigerian Constitution, are boundaries, which they, in fact, have no jurisdictional competence to police. Only the federal government can, under certain circumstances, impose limits on freedom of movement within the country. State can also state can also not deport citizens of one state to another. Deportation means the expulsion of people from one country to another. It's both semantically and legally impossible to deport citizens of a country within their own country. That is both an abuse of the English language and of the Constitution. Malami was unseen and unheard when all these violations of the Constitution occurred, but he is suddenly interested in these matters because cows and regional politics are involved. That, in my opinion, bespeaks reckless and extreme irresponsibility, not to mention toxic incompetence and bigotry. In any case, the harm of open grazing disproportionately affects more northern farmers than it does southern farmers, since farming is the North's mainstay and open grazing earth farming. I know of scores of relatives, friends, and acquaintances from all parts of the North who have stopped farming because of the increasing lethal dangers of open grazing. To give just one example, this is to give just an example to the anachronistic practice of ruining and displacing lives. The consequences of the mass decision of farming are not just now manifesting in the form of food shortages and high costs for food. This will only get worse if nothing is done. Malami's spare parts comparison is faulty for another reason. Many state governments, including Kano, Kaduna, and FCT, Lagos, etc., have actually banned the use of motorcycles and minibuses for intercity mobility. In what I once called an attack directly which affects spare parts sellers. The ban on commercial motorcycles not only inflicts misery on and halts internal mobility for millions of the urban working poor and the people who survive on it, but it also deprives spare parts sellers of a huge chunk of their clientele. Why has Malami not come out in the defense of commercial motorcyclists and spare parts in the same way he has come out in defense of cows? Again, several states in the north habitually seize and destroy alcoholic beverages belonging to other Nigerians who have a constitutional right to sell them to willing customers. Malami has never protested this violation of their rights. Malami clearly allowed his prejudice to overpower his mind. As a wise man once said, prejudice deceives when it talks, distorts when it sees, and destroys when it acts. Yeah. So, there you have it, guys. There is no comparison between the spare parts. I mean, the spare parts are not raping people. The spare part dealers are not raping people. They are not kidnapping people asking for money. They are not miming people. They are not destroying other people's business, because this is what the herders, the criminal herders and their cows, this is what they do. Why will you, because you want to sell your market, come destroy mine? I mean, farmers, they toil on their land day and night, nurturing the plants, and the cows just go there, and within the twinkle of an eye, on the minutes, it's gone, and there's no compensation. All they get is attacks, is death, is kidnapping them, is rape. I mean, there's no comparison. Malami on this one. You're not fit for the office. You're not. If you, as the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice of the country, you're reasoning this way and you're spraying out shite like this, it speaks volume. It speaks volume. So, guys, it is what it is. There you have it. That's the Attorney General and Minister of Justice for the country. Indeed. Until I come your way again. Bye.